Some NBA superstars practically have a championship ring for every finger. But then, there are these other ballers who've had absolutely glorious careers. But when it comes to championships, that just wasn't in the cards for them. These are the greatest NBA players who never won a ring. Allen Iverson. Let's begin with the one and only Allen Iverson, a guy who might not have been the tallest on the court, but he scored buckets like he was in a league of his own. I mean, he led the league in scoring not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times. And when it came to stealing the ball, he was like a magician swiping candy from a baby. Now, let's dig into the stats buffet. He's 28th in the all-time points scored club with a jaw-dropping 24,368 points and 14th in steals with 1,983 swipes. During the 2000-2001 NBA season, Iverson led his Philly team, the ultimate underdogs, all the way to the NBA Finals against the Lakers. Yeah, those Shaq and Kobe Lakers. And guess what? He pulled off this miraculous Game 1 win in LA, dropping 48 points and nabbing 5 steals. It was like he was playing 2K on easy mode. Sadly, that's where the fairy tale ended. The Lakers snagged the championship in 5 games. That was the closest Iverson got to that shiny ring. But you know what? Ring or no ring, Iverson's legend is as secure as Fort Knox. Reggie Miller. Meet Reggie Miller, the Robin Hood of basketball. But instead of stealing from the rich, he rained 3-pointers on them. He's sitting pretty at 4th place on the all-time 3-pointers made list with a jaw-dropping 2,560 shots from beyond the arc. But Miller wasn't just a sharpshooter, he was Mr. Clutch. When the game was on the line, he was your go-to guy for game winners and playoff heroics with the Pacers. In his prime from 89, 90 to 00, 01, Miller was a scoring machine, putting up 20.6 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. He was basically a Swiss Army knife on the court, doing a bit of everything. However, Miller's quest for a championship ran into a couple of roadblocks named Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, 2 of the greatest shooting guards ever. In 97-98, the Pacers pushed Jordan's Bulls to the limit, forcing a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they fell just 5 points short. Then, in 99-00, Miller and his crew finally broke through, reaching the NBA Finals for the first time in his career. But guess who was waiting for them? Kobe Bryant and the colossal Shaquille O'Neal. Miller put on a show, averaging 27.8 points and 3.6 assists, raining threes like confetti. But even his heroics couldn't stop the Pacers from losing the series in 6 games. And that, my friends, was the closest Reggie Miller ever got to an NBA ring. John Stockton. John Stockton didn't just play in the NBA, he ruled it. From 1987 to 88, when he first grabbed the starting role in Utah, all the way through to the 2002-03 season, he never let go. That's 19 seasons of pure Stockton magic. Stockton holds the NBA record for dishing out assists, a mind-boggling 15,806 dimes. And no one in the NBA is even close to surpassing this record. Now, let's talk about his prime years. From 87, 88 to 97, 98, Stockton was a beast. He averaged 15.7 points, 13.1 assists, and 2.6 steals per game. At the time, that was not just good. It was downright crazy. He led the league in assists every single season during that stretch and was the steals king twice. It's like he had a golden ticket to the top of the league's leaderboard. But here's the gut punch. Stockton's closest dance with an NBA championship came in 96. 97 and 97, 98, when he and Karl Malone led the Jazz to the finals 2 years running. They bumped into Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls both times and came up just short, losing in 6 games each. That must have been tough for Stockton. Karl Malone. Karl Malone, a powerhouse of a player, had a 19-year career that's the stuff of legend. His averages of 25.0 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game are like a unicorn in the NBA. If there was a Mount Rushmore for basketball stats, Malone's numbers would be etched on it. He's the third all-time in points with 36,928 points, and seventh in rebounds with 14,968 rebounds. He's truly in a league of his own. Malone had 3 tantalizing chances at an NBA championship. The first 2 came with the Utah Jazz in 96, 97, and 97, 98. But guess who spoiled the party? The one and only Michael Jordan. Then came his last shot in 03, 04, wearing Lakers purple and gold. But Malone was injured, and he couldn't help the Lakers defeat the Pistons. Had Malone not been bitten by the injury bug in the finals against Detroit, who knows what might have happened. Up to that point, he'd been a key part of the Lakers' playoff machine, averaging 12.4 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game over 19 contests. In the end, Karl Malone's championship dreams remained just out of reach, but his legacy as one of the most dominant and versatile power forwards in NBA history is set in stone. Charles Barkley. When we talk about NBA legends without championship bling, one name shoots up faster than a three-pointer. Charles Barkley. Barkley's stats were flashier than a disco ball. From 85, 86, to 95, 96, he averaged 24.2 points, 11.9 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 1.7 steals per game. It's like he had a basketball cheat code. Despite not being the tallest tree in the forest, he led the league in rebounds and 2-point percentage more times than you can shake a stick at. He was a basketball magician. Fast forward to 92, 93, Barkley's MVP year. He joined the Suns, and boy, he did make an entrance. Averaging 25.6 points, 12.2 rebounds, 5.1 assists, and 1.6 steals per game, he was a walking stat machine. He even led the Suns to a jaw-dropping 62-20 regular season record. And the cherry on top, they made it all the way to the finals. But there, they ran into Michael Jordan's Bulls and lost in a 6-game series. Sadly, Barkley never danced with the finals again. Patrick Ewing. The 90s in the NBA were like a land of giants, and one of the biggest giants was Patrick Ewing. He wasn't just a player, he was a double-double vending machine, a scoring maestro, and a shot-blocking fortress. Basically, a basketball buffet all by himself. Now, let's talk about those blocks. Ewing's name is right up there with the greats. His 2,894 career blocks put him 7th on the all-time list. And just so you know, they only started officially counting blocks as a stat in 1972 to 73. Ewing was swatting shots before it was a trend, a true pioneer. And when it comes to rebounds, Ewing was no slouch. His 11,607 career boards are insane. He had a gift for grabbing those rebounds like they were the last slices of pizza at a party. The 93-94 season was the year Ewing and the New York Knicks believed they had that coveted championship ring within their grasp. They held a 3-2 lead over the Rockets in the 1994 finals, and the dreams of victory were in the air. But then, the Knicks stumbled in the final 2 games, losing by just 8 points combined, and that ring slipped away like sand through their fingers. It was a bitter pill to swallow. Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins, the man who turned every basketball game into a highlight reel with his gravity-defying dunks, especially during his prime with the Atlanta Hawks. You know those posters of athletes soaring through the air? Wilkins was the guy who inspired them. But wait, Wilkins wasn't a one-trick pony. He didn't just dunk, he dominated the game in every way possible. In the 1985-86 season, he led the league in scoring, dropping a jaw-dropping 30.3 points per game. And that's not all. He added 7.9 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and 1.8 steals every single night. It's like he had a full course meal of basketball skills. Oh, and did I mention he's 14th on the all-time points scored list with a whopping 26,668 points? That shows you how good he was. But sadly, the Hawks didn't exactly assemble a championship-caliber team around him, and they had to face juggernauts like Larry Bird's Celtics and the Bad Boys Pistons in the playoffs. Despite Wilkins consistently lighting up the scoreboard, the Hawks only managed to escape the first round of the playoffs 3 times during his time and never made it past the second round. It's like having a Lamborghini in a race against fighter jets. But you can't blame Wilkins for that. The man was a one-person show, a human highlight reel, and a scoring machine, making every game worth watching. Chris Paul. Meet Chris Paul, the NBA's point god, a title fans have anointed him with for his legendary floor general skills. He's already in the company of all-time greats, sitting comfortably at 3rd place for career assists, with legends like Jason Kidd and John Stockton in his rearview mirror waiting to be overtaken. In 2021, Paul came so close to that elusive championship ring. The Phoenix Suns were up 2-0 in the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks, and it seemed like destiny was finally on his side. But alas, it wasn't meant to be, as they fell short in 6 games. It was like the basketball gods played a cruel trick. Fast forward to today, and Paul finds himself with the Golden State Warriors, a team that knows a thing or 4 about winning championships. They've clinched 4 NBA titles since 2015 and made 2 other finals appearances. The Warriors have one goal this season: win Chris Paul his first championship. It's like they're on a superhero quest. But at 38 years old, the clock is starting to tick a little louder. Time is of the essence, and the basketball world is watching to see if the point god can finally claim that elusive ring, or at the very least, make one more magical finals run. Until that happens, the NBA's point god remains on our list as one of the greatest NBA players who have never won an NBA ring. For how long will Chris Paul be on this list? Will he even get to win a title with the Golden State Warriors? Let me know in the comments section below. See you in the next video.